Let's speak to Andrew Hale, Fellow for International Relations, Economics and Trade at the conservative think tank Advancing American Freedom. Thank you for joining us today, Andrew. Key question, can the USA count on this economic dominance continuing into the future?
Well, I mean, we are the wealthiest country in human history, and our citizens do have a very large standard of living compared to other countries. I would say the largest security threat to the United States as we look forward to the next 250 years is, of course, the fact that we currently have racked up 39.3 trillion in national debt, and we pay 1.3 trillion in interest on that debt every year. So, to give you an example, within the U.S. context, if you were to abolish every government department in Washington at the federal level, and except for the Pentagon, Department of Defense, and the entitlement programs, you'd only take off 1 trillion on that national debt. So that's our largest threat to our economy and our society. So it behooves, and both the Democrats and the Republicans have not come up with reasonable programs to address that so far.
No doubt, a lot of debt has been accumulated, and even more over the last few months with the war in Iran. But looking at China, it has distinct advantages in terms of its manufacturing sector, but also its growing lead in key technologies of the future, such as renewable energy, which the United States has, to a degree, stuck its head in the sand about. What are your thoughts about its lead in that sector?
Well, with regards to renewable energy, I think we need to remember that as some countries are willing to outsource their manufacturing to China, China's building 2 new coal-fired power plants a week, and it's some of the dirtiest coal in the world. So, quite frankly, what President Trump has done in response to that is to basically say, drill, baby, drill, and we've had a boom in fossil fuels. And as we've seen, actually, there has been an increase in trade between the United States and the European Union. And, of course, some of that could be the fact that, and it is the fact that because of the war with Russia and Ukraine and the sanctions, Europe has had to purchase more fossil fuels from the United States. And it's also not a good look when the United Kingdom has closed down its North Sea oil production and is purchasing oil fuel from Norway from the same sources.
Imagine a world, though, in which we weren't so dependent on fossil fuels and we weren't held to ransom by the likes of Iran with the stranglehold it's had on the Strait of Hormuz. Is that not reason enough to invest in renewable energy, not least the fact that it now pays for itself as well? It's no longer a lost leader.
Well, I wouldn't agree with you entirely on that because, what do you do when the wind doesn't blow with regards to windmills or when the sun doesn't shine with regards to solar panels? And we really haven't yet come up with a form of renewables that can compete with fossil fuels to fill our national grids, particularly at a time when we're going to have so much more bandwidth with regards to AI and all the AI data centers that are going to need to be built to facilitate that. So I wouldn't quite agree with you on that. We're still going to need fossil fuels, and particularly developing countries, so they can actually come up to our level, will need to basically do what we have done, built our economies on fossil fuels.
There are batteries, of course, but Andrew Hale, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much for joining us.